Hey guys, High Flyers Tag Team. Today we're going to discuss some cool new info we got about our dear Queen Girl, Muto Prime. Just a few things real quick. Drew Edward Johnson, you know, the artist of Godzilla Aftershock and Dominion. He's a huge part of both these comics and the Monsterverse. He works very closely with the mythology team, the writers. He's directly involved with the final products. He's very important to these projects. And he was asked a few questions yesterday, had to do with Jin Shimushi's design and a little bit to do with her power. And here's what he had to say. So we got some new info about Jin Shimushi. First up, when we were talking about her arms, he said that her arms are big weapons. They're covered in hard spikes all over them, and they're heavily muscled so that they can pound earthquakes. Also, her arms are used to, make big tunnels in the earth. The reason her arms are orange is because she has lava-like substance inside of her arms, which is her blood. And basically, what this means is that her blood's like superheated. He says that the spikes are orange because the lava is superheating inside them, which causes it to become like transparent. And the reason that there's red veins kind of throughout it, I'm sure anyone who's read the comic, you kind of notice that Jin Shimushi has like these red veins kind of poking through. The reason the red veins are there is because they're hotter streams of her blood. Now the spikes themselves, they aren't actually lava, but he kind of says they're kind of comparable to them. They're very hot, and due to this, it's kind of caused natural like growths on her arms, which are weapons. Any part of her arm that's orange, those are actually very sharp spikes and blades and stuff on her arm. If you've seen her design, she has these covering part of her shoulder. They're all over her forearm and her arm, and they're all over her fist too. So basically what this means is that whenever she throws a punch, say for example that she throws a punch at Godzilla, instead of it just being a normal punch like Kong punching and just being plain fist, he's also getting punched with a bunch of spikes across the face. And if she goes across, her arms have spikes, she can literally rub her arm across your body and you're just going to get shredded apart. Her arm's just nothing but pure blades and stuff. So basically, it's like getting punched with someone's brass knuckles that are just covered in just like tons of sharp like pieces of like metal and blades and all that stuff. They're just weapons. That's kind of how her arms work. To make it even worse for anyone that would happen to take a blow from her, these spikes are basically superheated in a way. They're hot. They're hot because of the fact that her blood underneath is extremely boiling hot. Like, he keeps comparing it to lava. So basically, not only are you getting punched with these extremely sharp spikes, you're getting punched that are meant to, by the way, cause these massive earthquakes and create fault lines and stuff. You're also getting punched with these spikes that are superheated and extremely hot. So you're getting hit with heat and these spikes at the same time. So basically, that brass knuckle I told you about, imagine that being superheated to like, it's like the 1,000 degree knife challenge or something. On top of this, I myself personally DM'd him and asked him a question about her strength, because multiple times now she's been confirmed to be designed comparable to something like beetles. So I asked, because when I asked Arvid, his answer was a little bit vague. So it seemed I couldn't really understand. So when I asked Drew, how is her strength compared to something like that of a beetle's, his response is, I would say her power is exponentially proportional to some beetle traits. Basically, this is a direct response to, hey, how strong is she to a beetle? And he was like, yeah, she definitely has some power of beetles. Like, her power is comparable to them in multiple ways. If we take this just for now, at the time being, because this can definitely be argued now, finally, with her strength, if it's comparable to beetles, that means this basically means she can deadlift anywhere from 13,500,000 tons to up to 150,000 tons, actually way over that, because beetles can lift anywhere from like 100 times their own body weight to 1,141, and we know from Drew as well that Muto Prime's weight is roughly around 135,000 tons. This is pretty consistent actually, and this works pretty well. This is actually helping us because there's been plenty of estimates and calcs and stuff that have already got these pretty high numbers already for the Monsterverse. Nothing official. This is the first time we got something official that could put her on in that kind of ballpark, in that kind of range. This just kind of aids the fact that, hey, we were on to something with those. Finally, other than the fact that, hey, her punches are spiked and hot, which I thought was crazy. I honestly thought her punches were just normal fist. Other than fact of that, and the fact that she might be bench pressing like 150 plus million tons. Someone did ask him his thoughts on Kong versus Muto Prime. I'm not gonna go too much into detail of this because this doesn't necessarily confirm anything, but I would say Drew has a much bigger say in this than Arvid, because Arvid did write Aftershock and he did write Muto Prime and her power and stuff. Problem is, he's confirmed multiple times, even when he was talking about his take on Kong versus Prime. He was saying it without seeing the movie and knowing anything about Kong 2021. He hasn't seen the movie. He doesn't know anything about it. Drew, who is heavily involved with the mythology team and a lot of this stuff still to this day, his response, basically whenever asked, hey, who would win? He said, I love Kong, but I think Muto Prime could take him. She's stronger, and her sonic blasts and earthquakes could really do some heavy damage to Kong. He'd need body armor and weapons to be able to survive fighting her. Godzilla and Ghidorah could stand up to her better since they're armored, but I think Kong would take more damage being unprotected. So, from one of the big workers that are still heavily connected to the verse itself, they're not gone now, and, they're still connected to the upcoming project stuff. They basically think Muto Prime negs, which would be consistent since Muto Prime is comparable to someone like Godzilla 2019 and Ghidorah. It's already been stated she can throw hands with them. Although she eventually lose to Ghidorah, she's actually capable of doing that. So, as all, guys, I don't believe there's really anything else of info. We already know all the stuff about her just punching and her just being made to cause earthquakes. I mean, she does it multiple times in comics where just her casual punches and walking just causes these massive earthquakes. Very cool to learn that her blood is like lava. It's very hot, and her arms are from the hot heat are made these massive spikes all over them that her punches and everything just razor sharp, very hot. Very cool info. Thank you guys for watching, though. If you guys want any of this, you guys know who Drew is, I'm sure. But as always, thank you guys for watching. As always, peace out and bye-bye.